There goes Missy. All right, g'day, hi, and welcome. I'm about to show you something amazing and wonderful. Just not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. So, been working all day, got home, and man's work is never done, you know what I mean?
Hey, Missy, kitty cat.
Hi, Missy. Would you want to have a, like, you... She doesn't even care. Check it out. My hand for comparison. That's what I call a freaking bean. Check this out. Got about a milk bag full. See, that one was sitting on the ground, but some of them I'm going to eat. Some of these big guys, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to... look at this one. Wow. I'll let them dry. And then I'll have seeds for next year. And a couple of good ones in there. Even some of these purple ones are pretty big. I should have picked these a little while ago, but I just didn't get around to it till today. But this is like kind of like my first batch. I'm going to weigh it. It's probably about 2 pounds of beans right there. I'll eat some. I'm going to keep the rest for maybe planting next year. Dry them out or make soup or something with it. I don't know. But anyway, I just thought I'd show you my beans. And again, my hand for comparison. So the chaotic garden down there, which has lost complete containment. And my cat is heading towards there. She's like my garden guard. I guess she goes and eats all the little mice and frogs or whatever gets in there. So she's doing a better job than the dog, I guess. You go sick 'em, Missy. You go sick 'em. Whatever it is you're going to sick. But anyway, the next thing to wait for is the corn, the pumpkins, and the squash. And maybe the carrots and stuff. So I'll get back to that. But ain't they pretty? Pretty good eating too. So I know I haven't done a garden update hardly at all this year because I've been so busy with my beasts. And I was supposed to get the proof of insurance on this today, but their office was closed. They weren't supposed to be, but they were. Look at that for nice scenery. Look at that for nice fall scenery. You know, you got the reds and the whites and like rust stains and rustic look. Anyway, yeah, I'll go check some the tomatoes. My tomatoes aren't ripe yet. My dad, his all turned ripe like couple of days ago. I thought mine would be ripe by now too, but maybe just location. There's something here. What happened here? Is there beans? There's more beans. Holy crap. But this garden didn't do very well because it's too far back and the sumac cover the sunshine and whatever, so this didn't happen. Or did it? Oh, there's beans in there. Okay, so it's a mild success. There's beets or something in it. There's I don't know what's in there. I don't even remember what I planted. So there's probably turnips and beets. There's probably all kinds of food in there. I won't know until I dig it up. But I'm going to set that up better next year so that it gets light. Ideally, the garden should be right here. This is the only place that gets light. But this tree does not have a single black walnut on it. I can't believe that. Last year was polluted. This year, nothing. This, you can get injured standing under this oak tree this year. Let me show you the oak nuts on this. And good survival food. You got to wait a couple of months before you can eat them, but this is the average size oak nut on this thing. There's my thumb for comparison. It's a beast, right? And I always like to collect some, but this oak tree right here, watch this. Okay, there's that oak tree. Not a one, not a single nut on this tree. And it's like that everywhere with everything. It's either bumper crop or nothing. It's weird. All the farmers I'm talking to are saying the same things. Now, if you look around, you can see that a lot of the trees are starting to look dried out now, but they're also starting to change, and we're about mid-September. Here's my dad's. Believe it or not, that's an uncontained. Oh, good. Oh, these little yellow guys. Oop, these guys are so tasty. They're acid-free tomatoes. I don't want to take too many. Oh, there's a nice tomato in there. My dad picked a whole bunch of red tomatoes out. Oh, so good. That was juicy. Always worked. But he picked a whole bunch. I'll show you what he picked. So we're going to have tons of tomatoes. This is where canning and stuff would be really cool. Maybe what I should do, if I do have enough of my own tomatoes, what I might do, because we're never going to eat them all in time. Like, he's already picked some of the big ones like this. That's not the biggest. I don't know what he did with them all. Where's all the tomatoes? Oh, he probably brought them back to the... Okay, yeah. But look at all those cherry tomatoes. Except for, oh, juicy. Holy crap. Oh, they're so good. I could eat those till I explode. Like, to like dangerous levels, I could eat those. But I just wanted to show you. Okay. This tree here, this gigantic maple, when I was a kid, I could put my fingers around it almost. The two of them. There was two more there, but they long died. It basically covers the morning shade, so my garden doesn't get, as you see, the sun's mid-afternoon and it's finally hitting it. So it doesn't, nothing grows well down there. And without even trying, not weeding the garden really, okay, technically I sort of weeded it once, but just the way I set it up, I still get that out of it. Just throwing stuff in the ground. Nature's amazing, you know. Nature's absolutely amazing. And yeah. Again, I'm going to weigh that. It's probably about 2 pounds of beans there. And I mean, that's just the stuff I could reach. Most of it is like, because I did what I call the Three Sisters, where you take the corn, you let the corn grow up. You plant a squash, a pumpkin, or whatever, and then of course I got hay all over it, or straw or hay on the ground. Straw is better to keep the weeds from coming up really quick. And then what happens is the vines from the squash, pumpkin, whatever it is you plant, keep the weeds down a bit more, and then on top of that you plant beans all around the corn, which crawl up the corn like lattices. They call it the three, it's what they call in South America, they call it the Three Sisters. My boss tried it. He's the one that gave me the idea. He didn't get anything. He got maybe about 2 squash plants, and he's got like perfect sunlight there. There's no reason why he shouldn't have like an overabundance. The rest of his garden did good, but that didn't do good at all. Well, clearly it's done well, and if I would have even half-assed maintained it, it would have done phenomenal. So yeah, there you go. So there's a bit of food there, and then I got a bunch of pumpkins and stuff like that for next month. The corn, hopefully I can pick the corn before it spoils, and hopefully it's good this year. But you know, the corn I had last year was good. It just wasn't, there's not enough corn to get really full kernels and whatever, but you can get a taste of it anyway. So yeah, it's very cool to be able to do that. So that's where I'm at now. I mean, it is September, so it's time to start to harvest stuff. I should have been picking the beans all along. The more beans you pick, the more beans you get. There's still probably about 4 or 5 times that in there. Like I say, it's a bit of, like I'm expecting to run into a terror bird or a velociraptor in that thing. It's just, you get in there, it's just like this green little jungle thing. It's kind of cool, but there's also a lot of flies in there. A lot of little sand flies for some reason, or a batch of sand flies. You'd think they'd be done for the year, but no. But yeah, so who knows how much beans I'm going to get. But beans, tomatoes, what I was thinking is crushing them up and make like spaghetti sauce or something like that. That'd be awesome. Homemade tomatoes. It's not a lot of work. I'm not set up on my canning stuff. And even if you can't grow a garden, you can go buy raw vegetables and get some canning stuff and just can it yourself. You know, like it is kind of the cheaper way to do it, but there's more labor. Kind of like when I made the homemade mozzarella cheese there. You can see that on this channel. Easy to make, but like anything, time consuming. Bread, anything like that always takes time. So there's cucumbers from my aunt's garden. That's some of the small ones. Those are pretty good cucumbers. But anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Just wanted to show you guys. So I'm pretty proud of myself. Got myself some stuff. And you know, when it comes to the full harvest time, what I'm going to do with all that greenage is basically knock it all down, put the hay on top of it, put the tarp on top of it, and compost it right there. And then maybe if I'm lucky, I could spread some manure on there, put the tarp back on before the winter, just before the snow flies, and next spring that thing will be just like, you know, outrageous. And again, no fertilizer, nothing. I didn't water it once. That's just what nature has provided. That monstrosity of a jungle down there. That's just what nature provides. So again, put a little effort into it, you'll get a lot of yield for such. We're talking what, 30 feet by 10 feet, maybe 8 feet wide, 30 feet long. You could get a lot in that, a lot more than, like, again, if I had time to dedicate to it, it would be phenomenal what I'd get out of there. But for now, I'm just like kind of like Mr. Half-assed and I literally just threw seeds in the ground and hoped for the best. So there's no reason not to grow stuff, especially with everything heading at us the way it is. I won't get into that, but you guys know already. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. So there you go. So yeah, let's have a final look at these beautiful beans. There we go. Have yourselves a great day, eh?